Before we leave this page, which is 10, 11, and 12, I want to mention something about helping students set personal learning goals. We talk about motivating students, we talk about individualized learning. As I mentioned earlier, no two students are alike. The degree of learning for one child is not going to be as great as the degree of learning for another child. However, every child can improve. And what you want to strive for is, has student A made progress since his last assessment? That's what you're looking for. Not did student A learn as much as student B, because they started in different places. So help your students set some of those learning goals, even if you have to do it through contracts or just through a little one-to-one understanding between teacher and student. Sometimes that's all a child needs, is just to know that he or she is important in the teacher's estimation, and that the teacher is expecting him or her to do better than he did before. All right, let's move to indicator 13. Provides opportunities for all students to cooperate, communicate, and interact with each other. This has been mentioned before about cooperative learning. Very important for you to do your teaching, which is the old term is lecture, and then immediately give students an opportunity to put into action what you just taught them. And a great way to do that, that's not individualized, is through cooperative learning groups. Teach them something, then give them an activity. Break them up into small groups. Be careful about how you group those groups. Make those groups carefully so that they will work well together. And let the children act upon what you just taught them. Walk around the room, do your monitoring, and you can see whether they're picking up on what you're trying to teach them. Number 14, demonstrates content knowledge and an understanding of how to teach the content. Believe it or not, we really haven't had a lot of problems with this one. This seems to be the easiest one. Usually a person knows his or her content knowledge pretty well. There have been some times when we've had to make some corrections of something that was taught inaccurately, but most of the time the content is there. That's very important. You need to be really smart in your content area, but you can be brilliant in your content area, but if you can't teach it, it doesn't work. That's the wrong place for you. So your instructional strategies are really important to get that content across. And that's why the target standard is that you demonstrate knowledge of the content, but also an understanding of how to teach it, and that you use a variety of instructional methods to do that teaching. Indicator 15 uses a variety of appropriate teaching strategies, including technology, to impact student learning and development. Examples include, again, using such strategies as cooperative learning, discovery learning, demonstration, discussion, inquiry, simulation. And by the way, if you don't know what those terms mean, look them up. Hopefully you do know, but look them up. Look at the exceed standards column for that one. In addition to meeting the standard, use a variety of appropriate student-centered teaching strategies. Student-centered. That means activity-based and hopefully chosen by the students so that they can interact with the information that you just lectured about. Moving on to indicator 16. Planned learning experiences are implemented that accommodate differences in developmental and individual needs of each learner in the group. Examples here include students with disabilities or exceptionalities, students who are gifted, students who represent diversity based on ethnicity, race, socioeconomic status, gender, language, religion, sexual identification, and geographic origin, and you've heard that before. So we're back to reminding you about that. Again, the exceed standards rating has the term research to support the planned learning experiences. So if you're really serious about getting the top standard marking rating there, you'll show us that it's research-based. Indicator 17, very important. Engage all students in critical thinking through higher order questioning. Again, spend your time on how and why questions instead of just hardcore basic facts. When did that happen? Ask when it happened, how did it happen, why did it happen, so that they will understand that there's more than just knowledge-based learning, that you have to get into the comprehension and analysis and the evaluation, going up Bloom's taxonomy. As I just mentioned, Bloom's taxonomy, if you're not familiar with Bloom's taxonomy of learning, there is a resource page that you need to look at that's in Canvas, but you also need to do some research of your own. Let's take a break right here.